What rule was made because of you? Students are prohibited from organizing, advertising, playing, observing, or otherwise engaging in any form of rummy, blackjack, Texas Hold'em, 5/7 card stud/draw, pay gal, or poker during lunch period. Poker chips and cards are prohibited from school grounds, except when required for specific pre-approved activities or projects. Violation of this policy is subject to expulsion and referral to law enforcement for illegal gambling. This was middle school, decades ago. Our first and last annual school district Texas Hold'em tournament, presented by JR's Bait Shop, was a resounding success. My senior year in HS, I had an English teacher who allowed all work to be turned in up to the last week of class. I turned in pretty much every assignment right about then, apart from the end of unit projects. Next semester, all the work for all units was due at the end of the unit. The place I work used to have unlimited coffee for their employees. 3 weeks after I started working, there was a sign above the coffee maker that stated that employees were limited to 3 cups a day. So in 4th grade we had this thing called Wax Museum where you dressed up as a historical figure and gave presentation. So my friend was Harry Houdini, and so he had handcuffs. So as 10-year-olds we were messing with them, and my friend put them on me. These were not the cheap plastic ones at the dollar store, they were prop ones made from real metal. So they get stuck, and long story short, I was in the office with 3 people around me trying to get the handcuffs open with pens and a pumpkin knife. My sister said when she had to do it there was no handcuffs allowed. Thanks Nathan for trapping me. The winery we had our wedding at no longer has weddings. I have a similar one. The club we had our wedding at offered 2 choices for drinks, either pay by the bottle or pay a flat fee per person per hour. We chose the flat fee. After our wedding, they stopped offering that option because they lost money overall on drinks. My high school used to have a drug project where we'd have to give a presentation on a certain drug. There was a little thing on how it's made, like in a lab, or it's a plant, or whatever. I misunderstood how in-depth that part was supposed to be. Long story short, I spent 15 minutes teaching the entire freshman boys health class how to make black tar heroin, complete with a PowerPoint presentation. They don't have that part of the project anymore. That's a great presentation. When I was 11, my class studied ancient Egypt. We each had to make a diorama and poster, and younger classes of pupils went around in small groups and heard about our projects. I did crime and punishment. I somehow thought it would be acceptable to explain adultery to little kids in lower grades, complete with examples. Well, it's like if your mom cheats on your dad and starts going to bed with another man, etc. The punishment is death. Holy SHT, did my parents get a call from the school. The library started putting up signs about authorized computer activities because I remotely rebooted the computers of noisy kids over and over. To be fair, it was a library. When I was 12 I discovered what really is masturbation, and as all boys once experienced, at that age, every occasion was a good occasion. My dad brought me and my sisters to a hotel with a pool and a jacuzzi that we had access to from our room. It was getting late, almost 11h, so close to closing time I was the only one left in the pool area. Every blind was closed. I was alone in the jacuzzi and decided this was the perfect time to jack off. As I finished, I saw one of the hotel staff guys entering the pool area and calmly told me to go back into my room's consent. The pools were closed. I went to my room believing I wasn't caught. The next day, the jacuzzi was closed because apparently a kid had sneezed in it and there was snot, which might have happened, but looking back it might also be my fault. About 1 to 2 months later we went back to that hotel and a rule to not masturbate in the jacuzzi was added. The thing is, 12y.0 me. Never imagined that security cameras were a thing in the pool area, so looming back it is very embarrassing. My boyfriend and I went for vacations recently. It was close to nighttime and our first real holiday together. We were kind of drunk and were just chilling in the hot tub. Then, very unlike us, I hopped on him and had drunk sex for a bit without either of us finishing. Lol. Next day hot tub was closed for maintenance. And the day after, and the day after. I felt really bad and guilty, but we never got in trouble. No singing Les Miserables at work. That first song with the prisoners working. Me with the mob. Edit. Earlier in that shift, I brought about a rule against Bohemian Rhapsody too. Students are forbidden to jump out through the windows. I recently just beat cancer at 13. When I would stay at the hospital they would have to test my urine. Capri Suns made me pee better, and the floor had Capri Suns on the floor. Long story short, I depleted the Capri Sun supply on the whole floor twice. The cafeteria ended up making a rule that you have to order Capri Suns through them. Men are allowed to wear business casual shorts in the office. Dress code didn't allow men to wear shorts, but did allow skirts. Showed up in a kilt until the rules changed. My high school made us leave our backpacks in our lockers because my Spanish teacher tripped over mine and sprained her ankle. She was on crutches and everything. She was a raging bitch, but I still felt really bad. In high school my group of friends and me started bringing a grill to school to make toasted ham cheese sandwiches in the lunch breaks. Soon after, more and more kids brought their grills to school. After about a week, the school banned grills on school property completely as they claimed it was a fire hazard. In elementary school, 2nd grade I think, I had to pee really bad, but I was in music class and my teacher was singing us a song and playing guitar, so I went up to her anyways and asked to pee, and she got upset. And since then she would remind us all that we can't go up to her while she's singing to ask to pee. I just didn't want to pee my pants, woman. My sister years ago, when she was 7 I think, went up to a teacher to go to the bathroom and was told no. She walked to the back of the room and peed. The teacher freaked out, called our parents who showed up, and reamed the teacher and principal out over this, causing a district-wide rule that stated teachers could not deny a student a bathroom period. My elementary school librarian was a real piece of work. She refused to let anyone go to the bathroom during class because bathrooms breaks are for in between class and we should be able to hold it. I was in pre-K, had no control over my bladder, and snack time was right before library time, so I had just drank 2 apple juice boxes. We were sitting at the computers and I asked to the restroom. She went on her 5-minute rant about how I had to wait and could hold it the next 15 minutes until class was let out. Knowing I couldn't hold it, I let it loose and peed my pants when the bell rang and I stood up. There was a puddle in the chair and I was too scared to tell her. The next week during library time we were told the rules had changed because someone peed in the chair. I started to cry because everyone knew it was me. I was bullied a lot thanks to that teacher. F you Mrs. Burbridge. My old job, my numbers were suffering, and I was told I needed to shape up or I would be done. The way I saw it, there was no possible way to meet the numbers by following the process. It turned out I was right. Everyone else came to the conclusion, but no one challenged leadership. So everyone was doing their own thing, then doctoring up the system notes after the fact to make it look like the established business rules were effective. So I'm like fuck it, I'm getting fired anyway. I documented everything I was doing different in great detail, showing how my way was faster. Eventually I was found out and I presented my findings as well as my evidence of the doctoring everyone else was doing. As a result they asked me to evaluate the processes for the entire department, and I ended up finding numerous areas of waste and inefficiencies, which we implemented to streamline things 2 to 3 times faster than before. On top of that I was placed in charge of a special expedite team, to whom the rules did not apply, and we were given free rein to accomplish our assigned high priority tasks by any means necessary. I've moved on to another division, but the policies are still in effect today, and the expedite team is still a thing. No lightsabers at the swimming pool. No obscene or disturbing costumes. For Halloween last year in school, I applied makeup following some tutorial I saw to make myself look like Two-Face from that Batman movie. Looked like my face was ripped off. A friend and I were skipping state-mandated senior year testing because we didn't have homeroom classes and were having breakfast at a restaurant with our parents' permission when the school district superintendent and our high school principal got seated at the booth right behind us. some snarky comments and a couple of parental get out of jail free cards later, we both got off with no consequences, but from the next year on the school worked with city and county law enforcement to ensure no one else got away with the same thing. As far as I know, they are still doing county-wide restaurant sweeps 20 some odd year later. At my old high school we used to be able to go home directly after we were done with our finals. Got done with the final at 10 AM. Go ahead and leave. Some upperclassmen got done with their finals and had a giant party during the middle of the day and got busted for underage drinking. Now everyone has to sit through the entire school day doing absolutely nothing. Birds are not considered a pattern on polos for school dress code. I had a shirt with chickens on it, and the dean called me out in front of the whole school. Board operators at the radio station have to show up 30 minutes early because I slept through a fill-in shift to run the morning news show.